Okay, welcome to the section where I'm going to talk about right here is to create an audiovisual recording. And so actually to start this video, what I did was I brought up my page for directions because I wanted you to see it. And then I went up here. Remember that the last step we just did was to download Screencastify and get that extension. So I just clicked on the arrow. And then when it came up, I got a box that said, you want to start? And so I said, start. And then when it came to start, I got a choice to use the whole window or just the window application. So I could use the entire thing or the window application. You want to use the whole thing. So you just want to double click on the one on the left. Once you do that, you'll know you're taping because at the bottom, you'll see where it says stop sharing, and you don't want to hit stop sharing until you're done talking. And so the type directions are bring up your infographic. And then once you bring it up, you want to click the red arrow, and then you'll hear her count down 3, 2, 1, and then this will come up at the bottom and you'll know you're taping. And then once you're done, you'll hit stop sharing. And then I can't show the next part. I can't show this part because if I stop this recording, then you won't be able to see it. So once you stop it, you'll see a box pop up over here on the right, and it'll say been saved to Google Drive. You'll see that the default name is just the date and time that you made the video. I would like you to rename that. So how do you do that? You just come up to the left where it's named, and if you click on it, then you'll get a box in the middle that will let you rename it. And then I would just rename it like infographic audio or whatever you want to call it that way, and click save. That way, when it's in your drive, you just don't have something random. All right. And then I want to also explain to you in this video, not only how to start your audio, but what you're going to do is, and I can run some copies for class. I just have the rationale table right beside me. And so I'll run copies of this because these are the things that you want to talk about. The requirement is just to talk about 4 of 6, but if you want to talk about all 6, you would. And so I'll run class copies so you can have a hard copy so you don't have to keep going back and forth. So I ran myself a hard copy. And so right now I have my infographic up, and this is where you would start. You'd hit the red arrow. You'd click, yes, I want to start to record entire window. And then you would start. And so what I would do is I would say, here's my infographic. Welcome to Vacation Facts from JMMS 7A students. I chose this title because I wanted people to know that my objective was to find out about vacation facts. But I also did a subtitle because I thought that it was important to let them know who's vacation facts. It wasn't just some random people. So it's JMMS 7A students. I used word art because I could get fancy. I felt like this was a fun font, but I also used word art because I wanted to color it in. And I used a little bit of a different font, a little bit smaller for my subtitle because it's not quite as important, but yet it's still important. And I kind of colored it in and outlined a little heavier. I thought it looked nice together. And so that was my title. As far as my focus, you'll see that my focus is the dog. And I used a dog just to represent students in general. I didn't want to put a boy in here or a girl in here. I just thought the dog could represent all students. And so when you look at my colors, I wanted everything to kind of match. And so I use blues and reds because it kind of matches what's going on with the focus of my picture. And I thought the picture was cute. And between the picture and the way I presented the title, it would draw focus to the middle. Another thing I did to draw focus to the middle was my color choice. I did some colors, but I used a custom where I could do like a rainbow. And I kept them fun, like vacation, like red and blue and yellow and purples. And I swirled it because you can do that with the custom. And I kind of made it faded a little bit. That way there was color there, but it didn't actually take over the dog or my title or my facts. I kind of wanted it just to be there in the background, kind of subliminal, but yet supporting what I'm doing. As far as my organization, I decided to organize things. And again, I wanted the focus to be in the middle. So I used these arrows and I have everything pointing in at the dog. These 6 things I felt were equal. And so I made them pretty much the same size and the same color. When it came to who you spend time with on vacations was the question here. I felt like that was my most important question, like on the hierarchy, that was the most important. So I did a different shape. I did a different color. I made a different font and a bigger font. I felt like that was the foundation of my questioning. And so, you find foundations on the ground floor. So I put it on the ground floor under his feet. like I said, everything else was kind of equal. And the fonts, I tried to keep them all readable. I have one here. I have these that I used for the general ones here. And then even my fun one up here. But what I was careful about was I chose fonts that were fun, but yet that were, especially when I went to my information, that were clear so that readers weren't trying to figure out because maybe the font was too fancy. I didn't go too fancy with my fonts, but I did use different fonts to break it up. I did want the reader to see there's a difference between my title and my main piece and my other pieces. Grids, again, I just use I use the shapes to break things up instead of lines. And so I thought this was nice and neat. And if you just read a box, if you read the boxes, it separates everything nicely. And so overall, after that, that's kind of what I had in mind when I set this all up. And feel free to please stop and read my points. It's kind of cool about the vacation facts for 7A. But in order to create this, these are the things I kept in mind. I wanted to keep it fun, simple. I wanted all the eyes direction to go to the center. And I tried to display things so that the reader would see that here's what I found with one important piece of information. Everything else was kind of equal. And yeah, that was what was in my mind when I made it. So thank you for listening. Have a great day.